Some years ago, we did a creative workshop in Paris. I could afterwards define what this car should be in my eyes. Paris is one of the most advanced and prestigious cities in the world, and it has a lot of history. Prestige, luxury, history. This car should have all of it. My name is Maximilian Nauka. I'm an interior designer at Audi. When talking about the interior design of the current A8, prestige was the basis of developing the car. How did we achieve this? First of all is creating width, because width is for us the definition of luxury in a car. Then, of course, the black panel architecture, which integrates seamlessly the screens in the dashboard and in the center console. As a design team, we said, okay, craftsmanship, this is what the Audi customer knows and what he expects. It's super nice leather, authentic wood, has stitches that are like perfectly made. And we were like, okay, this craftsmanship, we want to transfer into the digital world. On any screen, which you can see in the car, on any graphics, there was a person sitting and defining it and sketching it and looking after that we get this high-end, high-definition graphics. Overall, if you include the screens in the back, 6 screens into the car, they should not look like screens put somewhere on. They had to be integrated seamlessly, giving a perfect ergonomics to the customer, because the screens are coming closer to the driver and the passenger and they're easier to reach. This car should have something which no other Audi is going to have. And I think this is exactly what we made with the vans. They're just coming out when you need them. Even the movement itself, it's the best in technology you can get. The back of the car, it's equivalent to the front row, because we interpreted the design of the front center consoles. So you have your S-Con, which is like a piece you can just take off, and you can control everything. It's the screens, it's the sunshades, the seat heating, the cooling, the massages. The massage, by the way, is awesome. The matrix reading light. So this was a nice transfer from the technique we get from the exterior, because the headlights have this matrix light, so this is pretty unique. And it has to be really spacious. I really just invite you, get into the car, sit down in the back and just enjoy it. It's amazing. Since the beginning, we had the aim to create one interior and one room you really feel, no matter where you're sitting in, you feel, wow, this is a luxury car. It's defining the DNA of Audi every time a new A8 is coming onto the market. We have to shift it into this digital environment we are now living in. And this car should not just match, it should define. It's always cool to make a big step. This car is not an evolution, it's a revolution.
Our goal was to realize a really luxury interior that is also quite simple, quite calm of its aesthetic, and we integrated a completely new interface. One of our basic goals was developing the next generation of our user interface within the car's environment. My name is Michael Sein. Within Audi, I'm responsible for the overall UI and UX development, like which button needs to take which functions within the car's environment. We launched a completely new 100% touch-optimized system in the center console, and we introduced a technology which is haptical feedback on the MMI touchscreens. Haptical feedback on the MMI works in a way that we have a force. While you are pressing the touchscreen, you think that there is a reaction on the display moves slightly, and it gives you the feeling of a pressure like you're pressing a normal button. When you use a slider, like for example in the air conditioning, then you get a different feedback on that. It's just by getting the feeling of the slider feedback that you're now changing the temperature. When we developed the new generation of our speech dialogue system in the car, where you can naturally do commands on the system.
What can I do for you?
Take me to the theatre.
Searching for theatre nearby.
On the other hand, the second way of interaction is an immense improvement on our handwriting recognition. You can write one letter above the other, or where you can write complete words that makes it really easy to interact with the system. On the user interface, we made a few steps in order of individualization. So it's a configuration of your most used functionalities in the car's environment. Within that 100% touch-optimized system, we have a really easy-to-use system with a lot of functionalities, really intelligent functionalities like the speech dialogue system or the handwriting recognition for an easy way of operating and interaction of the system. But also we implemented with the MMI Touch Response a technology that gives our customers the possibility of a touch-based system in the car's interior.
If you think about a new project, then the work starts pretty much 5 years ahead of. So it's a very intensive early stage where you have to decide what do you want to achieve and what are the systems to achieve those goals. We thought about what is really an Audi comfort experience, and we found some answers. Hi, my name is Christian Schimmel. I'm in the chassis department, head of department that deals with the chassis tuning, which means adjusting the parameters and everything of steering systems, damping systems, tires, to have a pleasant ride and high performance in the car. For 2 years within Audi, I had the mission improve the critics for steering feel. Because we had a lot of articles and critics who said, well, the steering feel is artificial. And consequently, we did a lot of analysis there. And now we are able to have a new kind of approach using the electric power unit, which influences the amount of force that you're feeling at the steering wheel. While you're cruising, you won't feel the road because you're cruising and you want to have a pleasant ride. But once you want to have the car while you're really driving, while you want to feel the curves, while you want to feel vehicle dynamics, then the car reacts to that. It detects that you're going faster pace, and then it lets you feel where you drive. But the DAS system is much more than just steering feel. It's reducing turning radius. So you have a rear wheel steering, which does up to 5 degrees. And consequently, the Audi A8 with the long wheelbase turns like an Audi A4. That's a great achievement. But if you have an all-wheel steering system, then you can see, oh, the driver is steering, he wants to turn over there in the left lane and afterwards in the right lane. And you can react at the front and at the rear axle at the same time. So the car reacts instantaneously to the wish of the driver. So we kind of did some extra tuning. We changed the architecture of the air spring. The air spring is now moving in a 1-to-1 ratio with the car. So we did that. But the eABC is a completely different story. Well, when it comes to making something new, have an innovation in a car, then you have to do something different. And consequently, we had to build our own system, an electronic chassis system. And the new thing is we have 4 actuators. Each wheel may be actuated independently. We have a system which is fast and which kind of lets the wheel see the bump and move very fast away from the bump, which is not possible with the passive systems. But basically you have the modules that take care of the body movement, which are kind of slow movements like heaving or pitching or rolling. So there's modules that measure the roll movements and then they try to minimize that in a very fluent way, very comfortable way. And on the other side, there's fast modules, which are kind of controlling the wheel when it comes to vehicle dynamics. So they detect that the wheel is jumping at a bump, then it adjusts the chassis to have a smooth ride there. It's an all Audi system. So we know everything about it and we could tune everything in the way that we want it. That's kind of a key factor, but we wanted to have everything under control, especially as we have the most complex car in the world. Most of all, what you experience when you drive that car, it really makes us very proud. It enables us to have an experience like the magic carpet that is always quoted when it comes to comfort.
One of the big engineering challenges was to make a mild hybrid system that you can use with every drivetrain at Audi. My name is Urs Exi and I'm responsible for the 48-volt mild hybrid systems. We assist the engine every time we have enough energy in our battery. We have three main parts in the car. These are the belted starter generator, our DC-DC converter, and the 48-volt battery that's sized like a shoebox. With the 48-volt electrical system, we have 4 times more power than with the 12-volt electrical system. This energy, we can use it for different drive states. We tried to make a very convenient start-stop system with a belted starter generator. The system is very powerful and makes every start very smooth, comfortable and very fast. One of the reasons why we are very convenient at the starting moments with the belted starter alternator is because we're permanently linked with the belt between the belted starter generator and the engine, and we crank it on without the mechanical voices of the pinion starter. At the assist phases, we use the energy to support the IC engine. With the mild hybrid system, we can shut down the engine at every speed. At the speed range between 55 kilometers an hour and 160 kilometers an hour, we will shut down the engine every time the customer takes off his foot from the accelerator. The next step is we make high performance recuperation with up to 12 kilowatts. That means that we use the kinetic energy of the car to make electricity and use it for the next assist functions or for the start-stop phases. They begin with 22 kilometers an hour. One of the benefits of the 48-volt electrical system is that we use it for new technologies. We have a top-down strategy with the mild hybrid system. The Audi A8 is the first one that gets the 48-volt mild system in our car, and we will roll out this technology in every new Audi in the future.
I think every designer has its own imagination of how the future should look like. Light is very special. My name is Cesar Montada. I'm head of the light design department at Audi. Audi is light. Audi is definitely light. And for us, it's very important to see that the light signature, or day-running light, is actually a signature not for Audi, but also for each one of the Audis, and of course, also the new A8. So we are introducing the new generation of laser light. On this car, you will see a laser light signature. So you see this X, and this is a symbol for precision, for focus light, for strength, for far-reaching light. An X will be recognizable for everybody when you see it. This is a laser light. OLED light is a very special light for designers. It's very precise, it's very thin. You have to imagine that the emitting surface of light is 200 times thinner than a human hair. We dream about this light not making only one surface or in 2D, but bending it, bring it in 3D. And of course, who knows from there on where it goes. We introduced dynamic light, so the light is moving and is also changing the character. Imagine when you approach the car welcomes you, almost like an orchestra director. So you call for attention and then you open, bringing this music out, this light movement, This happens in the front, of course, on the A8, but also on the back, and the back is very special. It's extremely emotional. It's got this very long line. We define this extremely precise line of light that catches the bodies or emphasizing the exterior. And there you can see the light running, from the center to the outside through each one of the segments, showing the precision of the new technology. think designers, we always talk about the eyes of the car. So we tend to design the cars a bit like a face. You know, the physiognomy of a kid has big eyes. The eyes are much bigger than many other parts of the face. And as you grow up, you tend to change this proportion. The eye tends to be a bit more closed, a bit more focused. And of course, we wanted to show also this focus eye on the A8. And this is why it has this very penetrating look at it. You know, it's really staring at you very clearly, but very decisively. We took the best technology what we had, LED light, laser light, and OLED, and we placed it beautifully in this car. Audi is light. Audi is definitely light. It's a beautiful thing.